Wait, so it was Juno that killed them. They didn't commit suicide. Wow. I really thought they did. So it was Juno. He sent some goons. Yo, Vincenzo is wearing a pigeon mask and his name is Insagi. Oh, they both know now. They know that Juno is the real boss. Oh man, things are getting more serious now. First off, the truth is now out that Juno is the real boss. But I have some second thoughts about that. So, in the last scene, it did made it look like that Vincenzo and Chaeyoung knew that he's the real boss. But I think in the next episode, they might play around a bit, like having Juno still portray the fake Juno in front of Chaeyoung. So the battle is just going to be between Vincenzo and Juno. Because remember what Vincenzo said was that he doesn't want to put her in danger. And for Juno, obviously he has a crush on her. So again, the battle is just going to be between those two. But for Juno, I think, well, considering how crazy the guy is, it doesn't matter if he has a crush on her or not. I think he'll go as far as putting Chaeyoung in danger just to get back at Vincenzo. So who knows? But I think they're going to play around in the next episode. If not, then I'm ready for that head-on fight. Now for the families. First off, I was lied to. I actually thought they committed suicide, but it was all a lie. Even the text was a lie. Things didn't add up for Chaeyoung and she was right. Someone commented in the last review saying that what if it was the evil company that set everything up? Hey, they were right. Whoever made that comment, if you're watching this, kudos to you. You called it. You were right. It was all the evil company. That's crazy. Oh yeah, before I start talking about the episode, I want to talk about the two scenes that I would consider fueling the fire. The first one is when Hanso and Sungyuk were drinking. Sungyuk kept saying, I don't see anyone as the CEO other than you. He kept saying it. He screamed it to him. And that kind of made Hanso feel good inside. But I think that's fueling the fire to his craziness. I mean, we know that he's changing little by little each episode on how crazy he can be. So just having Sungyuk keep saying, you're the CEO, you're the CEO, that's fueling the fire in him. And the next one is Jusong. Jusong wants Vincenzo to focus on the main point why he's in South Korea in the first place, to get the gold. But Vincenzo is putting all of his time in trying to find the real boss. And yeah, he's having a hard time trying to get the tenants out. But he was thinking, well, the tenants are fighting the real battle, like me, and we're all on the same side. So yeah, I've said this before that it's going to be a conflict within Vincenzo because the tenants are definitely growing on him. But at the same time, I mean, there's another fight that he can't leave. So that led to Jusong being very angry, and who knows, he might be a bad guy and backstab Vincenzo. Oh yeah, there's one scene I also want to talk about, and it's when Vincenzo was using the rotten apple. So his view on organization was pretty much one side of the apple is rotten, the other side is edible. We don't call this a half-edible apple. We call it a rotten apple. And then Chaeyoung added the fact that the rotten side will eventually affect the edible side. So once a rotten apple will always be a rotten apple. Apply that to an organization. Once they do something wrong that is considered illegal, they're a rotten company no matter what. So at the beginning of the episode, Chaeyoung was very shocked to see what happened to the families. I mean, not that long before, she was sent a picture of them smiling. Then after that, they killed themselves. Things just didn't add up for Chaeyoung. And what's crazy was, before I even knew the truth, I was still thinking, man, I can't believe they killed themselves. That's crazy. Little did we know, that was all a lie. And I was very tricked and shocked. Again, I've said this before, this drama really knows when to shock you. So the meeting with the usual four, Hanso did some digging and he found some text that led them to the names of the people who helped Vincenzo burn their building down with RDU 90 in it. And that meeting ended it with Juno saying, it's time to vent our anger. I put two and two together and I'm like, no way. It was them. They killed the families. Juno sent some goons to kill them and hid the murder as a suicide. And that's exactly what they did. And when Chaeyoung went to the cops didn't even believe her because things just didn't add up for Chaeyoung. And after they left, we see that the cops were pretty much dirty cops. They were in it with Usang Law Firm, and they were told by Usang Law Firm to get rid of the forensic files. And I'm like, damn, we're dealing with dirty cops now. But don't worry, Vincenzo and Chaeyoung took care of them. But before that happened, Vincenzo was like, I won't just let the real boss pay. I'm gonna kill him. And Chaeyoung was like, well, I'm not gonna stop you. You can go ahead and kill. So the first thing they did was go after the dirty cops. So Vincenzo met with them on, I think it was a roof where they got money from Usang Law Firm. He toured around with them a bit, and then after that, kicked their asses, tied them up to a chair, threatened them to be tossed off the building. If they want to live, they first have to do a proper investigation, send them the forensic files, and resign from their jobs. And that's exactly what they did. For Chaeyoung, man, Chaeyoung really wanted to kick them off the building. I mean, she even said herself, she got some limited edition shoes just for that moment, which was so hilarious. So yeah, eventually they got what they needed. They saw, well, they were watching the footage of what happened to the families before they were killed. And we found out that Juno sent some goons to try to abduct them, tased them, since the forensic file said that there were 2 dots on their necks. So they got tased, they got their car abducted, and it was the goons that burned the charcoal in the car to make it look like they committed suicide. So it was definitely flat out murder. So they got killed while they were knocked out. The funniest part in this episode was when Vincenzo, Chaeyoung, and the tenants decided to do a little skit to make fun of Myunggi, Hanso, and Sungyok. So it was kind of like a news anchor kind of thing, or like a comedy show, and they were all wearing masks. The funny part was that Vincenzo was wearing a pigeon mask, and his name was Insagi, which was so hilarious. I need more scenes between those two because that's a duo I didn't know I needed it, because it's so hilarious to see Vincenzo fighting with Insagi. I mean, there was that one scene where Chaeyoung did open the window a bit, and then Insagi came, and then he was shouting at the door. It's like, Insagi, you're here again? Every time I open the window? And, you know, stuff like that. So back to the skit, they were making fun of him, and it was just their plan to try to get the real boss out. But Juno knew. So pretty much, he wasn't gonna play into their little skit. And then after that, Vincenzo thought it was a nice idea to try to scare Hanso, Sungyok, and Myunggi. So for Hanso, there was a toy truck, and that toy truck had a bomb, and it kept going after Hanso. But it wasn't a bomb, it was just like confetti with a flag with a C on it. And for Myunggi, while she was doing laundry, she see a zombie, and then that zombie put a C in blood on the window. And for Sungyok, he went home and saw a C on his wall. So, I mean, I think we know what the C is. I mean, it's pretty much Vincenzo's last name, so that was pretty hilarious. So after that, there were some goons going to the plaza to try to find Vincenzo. And this proves that, well, this scene proves that the tenants can definitely defend themselves, and they don't really need Vincenzo there 100% of the time to try to keep him safe. So these goons, who were part of the, what gang they're part of? The Twin Swords gang. So they came in, they beat up, well, first off, the former gang leader, I forgot his name, but yeah, he came in and said, hey, you guys should leave. I'm a tenant here now. But then one of the goons tried to hit him. He blocked it, but then eventually they got their ass whooped. What was funny was that the girl that was with them, she saw everything that happened, and then she just turned a blind eye. It was like, nope, I'm not part of this. I'm not part of this, which was so hilarious. And then right after they got their ass whooped and ran away, one of the goons grabbed Meaty and tried to make an example of her by grabbing a broken glass and, who knows, stab her, cut her, whatever. But then the old guy, man, I forgot his name though. It's the guy who irons clothing. But yeah, he came in, stabbed the goon with scissors in the neck, and pretty much chased him out. So yeah, that proves that the tenants can definitely fight back and don't need Vincenzo 100% of the time, which was pretty cool. And then more goons went after Vincenzo at the underpass where the families were abducted and eventually killed. So they went after Vincenzo. They were shooting, fighting, and then eventually Vincenzo got the upper hand, obviously. And one of the goons, so he was still conscious. Vincenzo grabbed his phone, tried to see who was the real chairman. He even asked him, "Who's your chairman?" He says, "I don't know," but with a little bit of extra persuasion, I should say, he says his name. But the thing is that we don't see it say it, but we know that he said it. And then Chaeyoung came worried because Vincenzo wasn't picking up his phone, and pretty much gave him a hug. And we see that romance right there, which made Juno jealous. But then Vincenzo was like, "I know who it is." And then he turns up, looks at Juno, and then Chaeyoung looks too. And just like I said at the beginning of this review, there's a possibility that they're going to be toying with us. That maybe the battle is not going to be between Chaeyoung and Vincenzo against Juno. Maybe just one-on-one, Juno versus Vincenzo, and keep Chaeyoung safe. Maybe, who knows? It can go either way. So yeah, that's pretty much the gist of the episode. Is there anything else I might have missed? Please leave it in the comments below. If they don't toy around in the next episode, and they know, not only Vincenzo, because we know he knows, but Chaeyoung knows too, then it's a head-on fight, then things are going to get even more serious, and I know it's going to be badass. And this is episode 10. We have 10 more left. It's going to be 20 episodes. So I can only imagine... Hold up, I lost my train of thought. I can only imagine what's going to happen, because I know there's going to be a lot of blood. I know there's going to be killing. But man, it's going to be crazy. And I can't wait for Hanso to turn crazy. Because right now, I wouldn't say he's halfway there yet. But he's almost halfway there. But just continue to see him change bit by bit. And maybe add some stuff that will fuel the fire. And yeah, we'll probably see him as the real boss. And probably see Juno dead before the drama ends. Maybe. But yeah, if you guys like this review, leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe. See ya!